Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Daniel Cody, giving you commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. Before I get started, let me just say I heard it mentioned earlier, so I thought I'd go on ahead and say my thoughts and prayers to anyone affected by what happened in the state of Texas with the flood. You heard Michael Cole mention it earlier, and thoughts and prayers in the grief from Goldberg and his wife losing her father a couple of weeks ago. So, my condolences to that. And let's get started with that being said with tonight's review of Saturday night's main event from my former hometown of Atlanta. So, we opened up the show with singing along to Randy Orton's theme song, with Jelly Roll being a part of the show to accompany him as Randy Orton, faced off against SummerSlam 2020 opponent Drew McIntyre, accompanied by Logan Paul. Logan Paul, last night, I must say, Logan Paul was the pot calling the kettle black when he said that we don't need another outsider. Logan, you are an outsider. But in any event, tonight, Randy Orton was very successful in defeating Drew McIntyre. However, it didn't stop there because Logan Paul attacked, Jelly Roll tried to rescue, and then Drew McIntyre went for the Claymore. And good news, we're going to get a tag team match at SummerSlam. And this reminds me a lot of Neville and the guy who played Arrow versus Wade Barrett in Stardust before he went to being himself Cody Rhodes. We also saw a couple of special guest appearances by the Steiner brothers, uncle and father of Braun Breaker, who was not here tonight. Don't know why. Don't know why Cody Rhodes was not here tonight. Fellow hometown guys just not in the house tonight. We also saw fellow residents, even though she is from the state of Florida. Fun fact, Cora Jade and Naomi are both originally from the state of Florida. However, I'm sorry, I said Cora Jade, Lord Jesus. Jade Cargill and Naomi, fun fact, are from the state of Florida. However, Jade Cargill currently resides in Atlanta, Georgia. So we learned that in AEW. So it was great to see her in the audience tonight before she was attacked by Naomi. And then a fight broke out, and it was announced that we would have a special guest referee tomorrow with the No Holds Barred match with Bianca as the special guest referee. And I really don't know what to expect. Usually I have predictions about certain things. I really don't know what to predict. Just like I don't know what to predict between Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, who will be in the main event of tomorrow's Evolution, also in my former hometown of Atlanta. I don't know what to expect from anything. I have absolutely no predictions whatsoever. We saw Seth Rollins versus LA Knight, and I'm going to be real honest with you. On paper, we're all supposed to root for LA Knight because he's the up-and-coming good guy. Seth Rollins has gone heel. But after Seth buckled his leg earlier going for the flying moonsault off the second rope, I couldn't enjoy LA Knight's victory because I don't know where Seth Rollins is physically as far as his health is concerned. And I want to say this real quick because in the past, WWE superstars, including Kurt Angle and many others, have added issue with pain killing. And for some reason, pain-killing pills are considered addicting for whatever reason. Even Rey Mysterio went through it. However, I have to credit Seth Rollins because if Seth Rollins is not on pain medicine and addicted to it, I would love to know his secret and how he deals with it. Because a couple of years ago when he was the inaugural world champion, he had back problems, as Shinsuke pointed out. He had a lot of limb problems. Nonetheless, Seth Rollins continued to push forward. If he is not, how does he do what he does without getting on drug or pain killing addiction pills? I just don't know how he does it, but I credit him for doing it. So I hope that this is not a big issue with Seth Rollins. We already have Liv Morgan out of action indefinitely for a little bit due to her arm, dislocated arm, which was surgically repaired. We have injury of Shad Gable. I don't know how that's going. I hope he gets better. And we all know Ludwig Kaiser is the new Americano. However, I hope Seth is okay. I hope this is not a big alarm. I really do, because I don't want to see anyone get hurt. Plus, I want to see this story between Punk and Roman Reigns and Seth get settled. And it won't be the same if he's out for a long period of time. So I hope the best for everyone. We would also see, what else did we see? We saw Jimmy Uso go one-on-one with Solo Sikoa, and Solo was successful thanks to their newest member of the MFT, not MJF. Some people confuse the MFT with the MJF logo from AEW. And they got their own thing going on in Texas right now. And I hope everyone over there is okay. And again, my thoughts and prayers to anyone affected by the Texas flood. Of course, we have that happening. Of course, thanks to Talatunga, which is easy to remember because of the half word tall, because he's the tallest of the group. Talatunga, with a little assist, helped Sokola roll up Jimmy Uso for the win. They would then attack. I call them the Bloodline 2.0. They would attack, and Jacob Fatu would be out to make the save. Thankfully, Jacob is okay. Jacob is here to wipe out all members of the Bloodline 2.0, as I like to call them. But let's talk about the main event, because we had Goldberg versus Gunter for the World Heavyweight Championship. And in many minds, I got to be honest with you. I had a feeling, my first mindset, sorry for the camera shaking. My first mindset was that Gunter was going to find a way to win, and that would be Goldberg's last match. But then the match actually became interesting, with Goldberg not giving up too quickly, with those two going back. Goldberg was very stoic with the chops. That is the first time someone has been stoic with a Gunter chop. First time ever. And also, I really thought this was going to be one of those predictable matches. But this match was actually good, and it really did have me rooting for Goldberg to win his last match, especially once he taunted Goldberg's kid, then got in the ring, and Goldberg went for the spear and jackhammer. I really got into it at that moment. I was actually into it when I started to see the fans support. I saw Ernest the Cat, the greatest. By the way, how's Miss Jones doing? Last I heard, Miss Jones is a school principal. Last I heard, but I saw Ernest the Cat. Remember him from the days of WCW? We saw him, and of course, some other WCW legends. But after the spear and jackhammer, I really started getting into the match. And when Gunter had him in the sleeper hole, I was rooting for Goldberg to fight out of it. Unfortunately, he couldn't, and he ended up putting Gunter over in his last match, taking his final bout and thanking the crowd in his retirement match. I thought the match could have been a little bit more better. A part of me really wanted Goldberg to win once it got interesting, but in the end, it was what it was, and I'm not that surprised that Gunter won. I'm really not surprised. It's just that my heart actually got into it for a second. But that's it for Saturday night's main event. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you thought about tonight's episode of Main Event WWE. I'm your host, Dan Cody. And if fate willing, I will be here tomorrow to review Evolution. But for now, have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.